I did a video last night in which I spoke about Herschel Walker's son, Christian, and of his abject ignorance of what black people have been through, and gay people and other minorities. I want to do this video for a while, but I want to do it the right way. One of the biggest fears that I have as a person on the left is that when you talk about politics, there's always a cultural value. There's always cultural things. It's like if you want to pour water into a pot, it's gotta be big enough to take the water, the capacity. If it's not big enough, you can't take it. We can talk about socialist stuff, leftist policies all in all night, but if there isn't a want for people in American society, it'll come to naught. It'll come to naught. You know, to me, as we go down the road, if we go into the future, as you have progress, there's always a great ignorance and a great forgetting, and that's what the right pushes, is a great forgetting of history. Christian is an example of that. He's an example of a person who lives in an echo chamber and who doesn't have enough sense to understand just what gay people went through. I talked about the HIV crisis with Reagan, how Reagan made a mockery of it. His press secretaries were laughing about it in press conferences. People were dying. Americans were dying. And they were laughing about it, saying, "Oh, I don't have it. Do you have it? Do you have it? Ha ha. No, I don't have it." I think that as we go into, because we have had some progress. We have a black Supreme Court justice, a female, a real liberal. You had Clarence Thomas. You had black police chiefs and black mayors all over the country. I just fear that as we get these temporal, superficial victories, and that's why I'm always careful when I talk about race, when I discuss society in general, not to focus on race, because they could sign a bill tomorrow and get rid of all the Confederate flags in the country. They could sign a bill tomorrow and outlaw all statues in no time flat if they wanted to. And then conservatives could say, "See, where's the racism, black man? Where's the racism?" That's why I don't, when Christian was talking about racism, which when he was discussing slavery, I don't discuss slavery when I talk about racism. I don't discuss slavery because all the stuff that's been done since then. Because people can't connect to something that happened so long ago. Can't connect to it. But I can tell you about urban renewal programs, eugenics of black women. Where I come from was some of the most in the state of North Carolina, women being sterilized. In some places it was crimes. In some places it was just if you had bad grades, you were mentally retarded. And I understand in California, even up to like the 80s, maybe the 90s, I think, that they were giving options for women to be sterilized in prison. That's my race. That's my racist discussion. It isn't about people in chains brought over from Africa who were raped and taken in the transnational slave trade, international slave trade. But with everything they've done once they got to the mainland, that's my issue. And I know he wouldn't talk about that because for the right, it's a hustle. It's a hustle. And I just think that we're now getting to an era, like I said, with different liberal policies. It's almost like for America, the right is the natural inclination. Like our natural inclination is to be warmongers. And it's like people go left because they face racism, or they faced homophobia, or they got beaten up by a redneck, and they're like, well, you know what? They got the G-check moment that you're not accepted. And as society becomes more accepting of certain things they weren't accepting of, and more inclusive, I fear that general population will go right wing. it's almost like it's almost like someone letting their health insurance go so they can have satellite television because they had a girlfriend that's a nurse or something like that. It's like I feel like I'm not in danger anymore of racism. I'm not in danger of the Klan running down here. Like the Klan ain't gonna run into the apartment complex with horses right now. I'm not worried about it. And so why vote Democrat? And instead of people recognize there's a lot more work to be done, that Democratic Party, for all its faults, is probably the only political party that cares about science and moving forward with what I believe should be a statistically based um, way of organizing life. You know, the left does things on feelings all the time. Look at some of the gun laws. The left does things all the time, left, on emotions. But I believe that the best of the left is, you might call me a technocrat, is basing results, basing laws upon results, statistics, and stuff that's of empirical evidence that you can prove is true, and you know it's factual, and not off of feelings. I just, it concerns me sometimes to realize that, as I said when he was talking, Christian was talking about gay people and everything. I'm like, you got gay panic on the books, which is basically a form of homophobic law. It's saying that you can kill a gay person, you feel like they're coming on to you. That shouldn't be on the books. That shouldn't even be. That should. People should come out in the government and be like, "This is wrong. We should never had this." You know, that's my concern as we go into the future here. That instead of us recognizing climate change, because the left is what got you the 40-hour work week. The left's what got you your labor rights. The left's what got you MSDS records, which is if you go in a warehouse, they have to have a book and tell you every chemical in the warehouse. The left got you your union stuff. Your left got you your unemployment monies, your unemployment rights. Thank you, Eugene Debs, a socialist. I think that you people don't remember that. There's not an understanding of the poor working conditions of when Upton Sinclair wrote uh, uh, the Urban Jungle. I don't think people understand how bad it was, and if climate change is bad, see, we're at a point right now in the present where things have leveled out to some certain extents. If climate change is bad and working conditions get bad again, there will need to be another war, another struggle for worker health and worker rights. Make America great again for all of the emotions and for all of the nonsense that was put forward through that putrid message. Uh, that's a world of shorter life expectancy if those kind of people got their way. Because when they say go back, make America great again, you're talking about a society, an era of cheap energy. You're like, that's like saying if I got cake on the table right now, they're grabbing the cake that's right on the edge of the table. Well, now you got to go deeper into the earth. You got to spend more money to get the same stuff. A lot of that will be automated. We know about black lung. We know about lung cancer. We know about these diseases from people that went that did mining. We know about leaded gasoline. We know these things, and that was a fact. It's not conspiracy theory. If you play with some of these things, you will die. Um, and that's the era they want to return to, as an era of people just not knowing. And that's where a lot of the right wing, and it's not even if they have facts. I have family like this. A lot of what they do is they confuse things. They use confusion and, well, you don't know this, you don't know that. Well, yes, we do. Some of these things are public record. You can look them up yourself if you want to. But they don't want to. They want to engage in confusion and conspiracy theories and just deny everything and obfuscate and not read studies. You can read the climate change reports. You can read that stuff. You know, it's not a mystery. It's nothing secret. Uh, I feel as though we could go right back to it. I feel like we're in the Roaring Twenties. And how did the Roaring Twenties end? The Great Depression, World War II. Hmm. I feel like we're in that Gilded Age again of being wowed with all the mystery and splendor of the marketplace, and not looking behind it, not seeing what's behind it, which is sorrow and grief and devastation and desperation. It's World War II. Germany had a famine, and the bankers, I think the farmers got big loans, had to pay it all back. The money was like worthless after that. That the market was like worthless. And then you had the Great Depression at the same time, and that led to Adolf Hitler, the rise of Adolf Hitler, the second time, and he got out of jail. And I just believe that for the working, and I think this is crazy for the average working man, that should be the conceptual understanding, is that they're always going to be fighting. If you're going to work for a living, you're going to always be fighting for a safe workplace, for a secure workplace. And I don't care how much money you make, you can't fall back on your laurels and be right wing and say, well, I don't like gay people. I don't like this. You have to recognize you're not a capitalist. You work within a capitalist system, and you're going to always have to, before anything, protect your own health, protect the health of your family, and protect the health of other people that have to work with you. Not get caught up in culture wars, and I don't want to see guys kissing on TV. I don't. Your fight is always going to be with the rich. It's class war. It's going to always be class war. It always was. Um, I don't know. Thanks for listening.